Hello everyone and welcome to the Kung Fu Panda 2 commentary. With me I have yet again Berserker88, and we're doing pretty much, I think, what every Kung Fu Panda fan considers to be the magnum opus of the series.
For now, hopefully that will change.
Now this is the film that, we've said it many times, but this is pretty much the film that made fans of us. It's like easily one of my favourite films ever made. Would you agree with that?
I would agree with that.
It's one of them films, like, I don't know, it's I wouldn't say it's genreless, it has its genre, but it's one of the films that I feel like anybody could watch and enjoy. It's got that comedy in it, the lightheartedness of a lot of, okay, say Pixar films, but it's got its own identity. It does some pretty dark stuff towards the middle and end, and I respect DreamWorks for that. It's probably the film I have the most respect for, because it didn't try and compromise itself. It just told the story it was going to tell and it didn't worry about anything like that. And this, I would easily consider it one of the greatest sequels ever.
And on that note, this intro sequence is amazing.
It's a whole reference to traditional kind of is it light puppetry?
It's a shadow puppetry.
That's what it's called. I've made myself look like a fool.
The exact opposite of light.
Oh, Lord Shen, one of the greatest movie villains easily, and probably my favourite animated movie villain.
I would agree with that.
He's such a great character. He's got like this great backstory. I mean, like, it's not exactly original. I mean, like, but like, he's got such nuance to him and such little subtle details that I can't help but love it. And the voice performance by Gary Oldman is just amazing. He, like, Gary Oldman, like, he's a great actor. He easily could have just phoned it in for this. Like, he didn't have to put 110 in, but I feel like he's made this character more than just a villain. He made him just a great character overall. He's kind of like a little bit like Tai Lung in that he's kind of like a better version of Tai Lung in the way that he's not one-dimensional. He's got like redeeming qualities to him. He's not evil totally.
Yeah, that's how I feel about him. He's basically Tai Lung, just better.
Yeah. It also helps as well his design is like, I mean, like, it's a total contrast to someone like Tai Lung, who was big, menacing, and had a smooth well, I guess he has a smooth British voice as well. But like, you know, as a peacock, he's not physically imposing. It's mainly a mental kind of fight, I guess, and he's better at demoralising people rather than actually fighting them. And one of the things I love most about the story from Kung Fu Panda 2 is the fact that it isn't so much a retelling of the first film. It is continuing its continuity. You know, the characters have changed since the first film.
It's not just a rehash, yeah.
Especially the dynamics between the Five and Po. I mean, like, especially Tigress's smug, cheesy grin there. They're friends now, and they're not just like, I guess, like, forced allies. They've actually grown to respect each other, and this is mostly shown through Po and Tigress, who in the first film were again a total contrast to one another, but like, they found this kind of friendship between them. It's actually one of my favourite parts of the film is their increasing friendship. You could say relationship if you're weird, I guess, but I'm joking. It's cool.
Let me just note that little scene there with Po eating the bean buns. I didn't even bring this up in my Kung Fu Panda 3 trailer analysis, but they made a little callback to that scene right there too, with Li Shan doing the same thing.
That's great continuity there from DreamWorks.
I love continuity.
Okay, I've talked a lot so far about this film, but do you have anything you want to add to it before we carry on? Or have I just pretty much covered it?
You pretty much covered it.
Yay! Okay, moving on to Shifu, because he's not really in this film a lot. I'll just kind of like I love that joke. Get to his development now. He's kind of like, he's mellowed out a lot, and carrying on from the first film, he's found inner peace. He's a lot more chilled out. He's also wearing that green robe, which is to represent kind of knowledge and peace and harmony, all that jazz.
Hi, puppy.
I agree, Tilly. Shifu is a great character.
Speaking of peace and harmony, here's a barking dog. Yeah.
Now, this is an idea that was actually kind of reused from the first film. One of the things that Po was going to do to kind of show his training with Shifu was catch a raindrop from a leaf, I think, or something along those lines, but they decided to reuse it here, and I think it works better in this film, because it would have... it's a kind of a more complex idea, and I think adding it to the first one would have just cluttered it up, really.
Yeah, from seeing like the stuff in the art book, they were like way too ambitious with the first film. I'm glad they cut it down to what it was.
It's one of those things where less is so much more.
Yeah, because they got so much shit now that they could use for sequels, and they are. So.
And they will. Would you say the animation has gotten better since the first film? I actually think it's one of the better, probably the best looking film of 2011, easily.
Yeah, it's very slightly better looking than the first one. I mean, Kung Fu Panda 3 is a huge step above visually. But this is a little baby step.
Right. Actually, ironically, you say that, but in terms of progression, this is a bigger step up from the first one than the third one is from this. Because in terms of rendering time for this animation, I think the first one was 30 million hours. So this one is 50, so that's like 20 more. But the third one is 60, and I don't know if that extra 10 million is going to make the difference. Cause
I thought the third one was 80.
Sorry, 80, yeah, I'm getting mixed up there. But the point is...
In which case, that is a bigger step up.
I'm going to be quiet. I've looked a fool again. I think Jack Black, like his voice performance, is probably the best here that it's ever going to be. I actually think.
I feel it's improved. Yeah. I feel the character in general is improved.
Yeah, it's like that thing. Like everything was improved here, from the dynamics to the comedy to the animation. I think, like I said, as a perfect sequel, it is just that perfect. Okay, maybe not a perfect film, but a perfect sequel.
I love Poe's face right there. That little laugh.
That's just great animation there. The way it just shifts like that is just really funny. Oh yeah.
So this whole scene is really cool because it's almost kind of like Poe's dream sequence in the first film, except he's now living it. You know, there's a lot of parallels between the two scenes.
I was just taking a sip of tea. I was literally just going to mention that. One of the things.
Beat you to it.
One of the things I like about this scene, like you said, it's a nice kind of continuation rather of this first scene from the first film, and there's like visual parallels to it. Like especially the reuse of the theme here is really great.
Yeah, that seems to me like the main Kung Fu Panda theme because it gets used a lot. You know, the na 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 na.
Yeah,
I can't sing, by the way.
That shot there was one of the poster shots as well. This is such a great line coming up. It was also this line was used in the first trailer, if I remember. I actually think the action's better in this film than the first film as well.
The scene in particular is really cool because it's like going along with the music.
Yeah, that's a nice little technique, and it's something you can only do in animation. Again, that's a great argument for having this film told for using animation more than, I don't know, using any other format. You can't really do a technique like this in anything else.
You can, but it'd be really hard.
I wouldn't. The thought of doing that makes me feel physically ill. See, look, this kind of action here shows how they're kind of like learning to work. Well, not learning; they've learnt to walk together. And I guess that kind of pacing is kind of cool because it's not picking up. The film's narrative isn't picking up a point where they're still learning to work together. It's kind of unique in the fact it's already at that point. I like that because it doesn't. People want to see it. They don't want to see him being an idiot again. They don't want to see him like learning.
We've seen enough of that.
How to do all this stuff. Exactly. That's just really great, and this is what you're talking about here. This movie does
The Feet of Fury,
a direct lift from the first film.
I love this recurring gag where Crane has to come in and like help Poe when he's falling.
Yeah, there's a bit in the art book where I think the director Jennifer Yu Nelson actually said Crane's used to doing it so much that he's always got his eye on Poe. And again, that's just a nice little reference to his role within that team. He's that glue that holds them together. He's always there to help Poe out because he knows he's going to mess up. I think this film has definitely got better pacing because it's a lot more of a slow burn, if you know what I mean, rather than the first film, which just kind of shoved a load of stock things in your face and just kind of like expect you to absorb it all. But I think this film's got a better handle on that, where it shows it to you gradually and like has a more of an explosive finish, whereas like the first film had a load of like intense moments throughout it.
Well, as I said before, the first one was a better like beginning part.
Yeah.
Because it basically just gets all the beginning stuff out of the way.
Why did he knock that stuff off the cliff? He could have used that.
Just to be spiteful. Well, I don't get it, you don't either.
The wolf boss is like such a great character, but like it wasn't until I watched that Lord Shen documentary that you linked me to, that I might leave in the description, that showed me he's actually a better character than I initially considered. Also, if you look at that archway there, you can see where it's been repaired since the first film. Continuity. I actually it's watching that Lord Shen documentary has made me realise there was a lot more going on with the antagonist than I initially thought, and it made me respect them all the more.
Well, you're gonna have to just link to that documentary in the description now because you bring it up so much.
Yeah, we will be bringing it up a lot probably. Again, I love the change between the restaurant here and in the first film. I can't remember what it was called in the first film, but in this film, it's that he changed the name, so it was a reference to Po. Is it Dragon Warrior Noodles? Isn't it?
I think in the first one it was just like Ping's Noodle Shop, and this one it's Dragon Warrior Noodles and Tofu.
Again, that's nice because it's not. They don't have a massive sign. It's actually in the Chinese characters and everything. Also, we mentioned it in the first film's commentary, but if you actually look at Poe's model, it's been re-rigged, so he's actually thinner. So this line that Ping says now, that was well timed actually. If we can say a bit later, that it actually has a bit more sway to it because he actually is thinner. It's little details like that that just make it a really great film just great films to watch back to back, really.
This is where Poe discovers the shocking surprise that he's adopted.
That must have been quite a shock to him. I know this is a weird detail, but I love Ping's eyebrows. They're like layered. He's got like 4 pairs of eyebrows.
Oh, I love his little noodle hat.
I love that so much. And a really great joke coming up here is actually an in-joke from the first film. This flashback we see in a minute. Do you remember when Ping says when he was young and crazy? When you see in the flashback, he's got that little ponytail. It's supposed to be a reference to when he was young and crazy. I love that.
I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, in the art book, it basically says as an in-joke from the first film, when he says, when I was young and crazy, he said, what if in the flashback we had him dressed really extravagantly? Just as a reference to that. I love that. It's just nice, again, nice continuity. And those little pictures you see in the background on the wall there, they're actually all in the credits and in the art book.
Oh, and another reference to continuity, I believe Mr. Ping also mentioned he had this crazy dream about wanting to make tofu. Well, now he's making tofu.
There we go.
It's like, oh, well, my son can accomplish his dream, so can I.
That is just great storytelling. I love his facial expression there when he's like, I knew it! And he just kind of looks like, oh, how do I approach this? And I think I really, really respect the writers for this thought. Is this adoption thing, it's totally positive. There's no kind of forced hamminess. It's not kind of making Mr. Ping there, like, I love that, the way he dresses there.
Yeah.
Mr. Ping's kind of role, it's not making him useless in any way. He still has oh...
God, he's cute.
You know what I mean? And the golden hue here is really great. It has it's a nice kind of reference to that sepia toned film thing. Okay, back to what I was saying. Basically, the point I was trying to make was is that the adoption thing is told with as much love as you could possibly put it in. It's not doing it to spite Ping as a character, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
It's telling adoption stories in a true way, and I really respect it for that. And it's one of the things that Angelina Jolie absolutely loves about the film, because as people know, she's adopted a lot of children. Did he say the no eating line? Because I can't really hear that. I might turn the film up a little bit, actually. That line where he says, oh, you didn't have a note, although you might have eaten it.
Yeah.
I love that so much. He's so adorable, god damn it.
And there's going to be like 10 more of them in the third film, so get used to that. Just going to squeeze everything.
It's a nice visual reference to the first film as well. The what cat. Oh, stop it, Poe! God damn it! It's really touching as well, this film, especially this scene and the scene later on. It does tug at the heartstrings, man. If I cry, don't, like, get embarrassed or anything.
Oh, I'm not gonna get embarrassed. You might. I might laugh at you a little. No, I'm kidding.
I'll be like, it'll be like, well, if I do cry, it'll be one of them, like, over-the-top anime cries, though.
I was gonna try to imitate that, but I wasn't even gonna touch that.
Yeah.
So, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that vegetable crate actually appears in the holiday special.
Yes, it does. I can't tell you where. I love that joke. It does appear. It's like in the background of a scene. It's not really prominent, but it's there to set up this scene, basically.
That's a nice foreshadowing.
Again, it's not. It's one of them things where the story is built into the scenery. It doesn't have to like place it there artificially. It's already there in the film. It's even in the first film if you look.
Huh.
Again, this whole subplot is built into the first film because.
Well, very clearly built into the first film.
Yeah, like it's that scene where he says, "Sometimes I don't think I'm even your son." It's
yeah, about that.
Yeah, I can only say that's great storytelling so many times. It just is.
All right. And now we shift scenes to Gangnam City, which looks gorgeous.
It's such a great set piece. One of the things I like about the production process behind this, if in the artwork, they visited so many different cities to like get a look for this, and it's this whole city is basically an amalgamation of everything Chinese they could find, like on their own, which is why it feels like the natural kind of thing to get a Chinese company to help them with the third film. They did as much as they could with this, so it feels only natural, that progression, really.
I heard that it was based primarily off of Shanghai, or at least a strong part of it.
It is, but there aren't as many people as in Shanghai, which is officially the most populated city on the planet. These three... I feel... You might disagree with me on this, but one thing I don't like about this film is those three Kung Fu masters. I find them a little bit underwhelming.
No, I agree.
I find, like, Master Flying Rhino...
Thundering Rhino.
Sorry, yes. I'm not a fan.
You see? Exactly.
And, I spite them intentionally. And the voice performances are good. Dennis Haber is Master Ox, and the martial arts legend Jean-Claude Van Damme is Master Croc. I feel that the inclusion is a little bit pointless. Actually, I think... Okay, having Shen's parents reappear here would kind of defeat the purpose of them not being there, if you know what I mean.
It would kind of ruin Shen's character.
Yeah, exactly. But, like, I don't know, I feel like they should have done something different here.
Well, it's kind of a role that someone needs to take up. It just happened to fall to these guys.
He's so sinister, god damn it. I love that line which is like, stay way over there on the wall.
Yeah.
I love that line. It's so good, goddamn good.
Yeah, serious props to DreamWorks for making a peacock menacing.
Gary Oldman, man. The choreography in that little scene there was amazingly quick. I love his little, like... Sorry, go on.
So I've never seen this in 3D, but I imagine that hammer would just jut out right in your face.
I don't want to see any of that. Oh, apparently, you bring that up. I didn't even think about this. Apparently, the 3D conversion is one of the worst people have ever seen for this film.
Yeah, well, I don't watch anything in 3D, so.
No, I can't because I actually, as people might know, I wear glasses. So it's actually impossible for me to kind of put them over my head.
Yeah, same here.
It gives me a headache as well. But apparently, the conversion to 3D for this film is actually one of the worst ever because it was never intended to be in 3D.
Oh, I like this joke right here. The serpent's in the Valley of Woe.
Yeah.
And then he's dead. Whoa. The funny thing is they actually made a little comic about his battle in the Valley of Woe.
Did they?
Which I've read because I'm a massive nerd.
I didn't even know they did that. I only know the little comics they did about like the It's Elemental and stuff like that. I have never heard of that one you just said.
Yeah, they actually did a comic for each of the three masters there.
That's pretty cool.
There's actually this really badass one about Master Croc. He's like, there's this fleet of assassins attacking an island, and he just like goes underwater and takes all of them down one by one. So it's a bunch of empty boats that comes to the island.
That's pretty cool. That would have been a great visual for the film.
Oh, I'm kind of hoping they'll be recurring characters. Just to get to do more.
Yeah, exactly. If anything, just to characterize them a bit more. One of the things... I've completely forgotten what I was going to say.
Whoops.
Yeah, literally, that happened in about 3 seconds. Dad, you're getting scratches on my tigress. I fucking love that. He's such a nerd. Oh, I can't remember what I was going to say. Another thing I like about the story is they actually moved it away from the Valley piece. So instead of getting used to seeing this location again, they took you away from it completely into another land to kind of show that, to kind of visually show that Poe is a bit out of his depth a little bit.
And they're doing that again with the third film, which I appreciate.
I thought it was going to stay more in the Valley of Peace. I was just from what we've seen. I mean, like the Panda Village is going to be a location, obviously, but like I thought it was going to be more about them coming to the Valley of Peace rather than the other way around.
I thought the opposite. I thought the Panda Village was going to be way more involved than it actually was, because the trailer showed a lot of Valley of Peace stuff and that weird ship thing.
Don't get me wrong. I want to see more of the world. I'd like to see the Valley of Peace is their hometown. I'd just love to see more of it, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I'm getting a little sick of it, to be honest. Especially because of LOA.
Don't bring it up.
Oh, sorry, the show that must not be named.
I love this music coming up.
Yeah, it's the montage theme again. Well, a different version of it.
That's something a little complaint I have about the soundtrack is sometimes they reuse themes. It's a little bit lazy, but like on the other side, as a thematic thing, I like it because it's something familiar being used in a different context.
Yeah, I approve of them reusing some of the soundtracks, some of the more notable ones, just to keep continuity.
See, all of these locations here, these are all locations that were considered for the first film but never used. So that's why they're getting reused here, even if briefly.
Yeah, this scene alone shows how big of a world China is here.
It's awesome. This is a great visual gag here. I love this one. This shot is amazing, like them in the sand. The transitions here are masterful as well. Actually, some of my favourite animation is in this little sequence.
Oh, here's a fun fact. This little face right there that Shen makes, with like the sword between his face, that's my avatar on most sites I visit.
Really?
Not in this one, but you know.
Yeah.
Because I have a video game channel, I figured Lord Shen as my avatar would be a little weird.
One of the things that little documentary taught me as well, that visual you saw there of his face, that whole warrior black and white, that is actually a foreshadowing to the fact that Shen is the one who ultimately defeats himself, because he creates his own destiny, as it were, and he creates the circumstances that lead to his death. Also, I'm talking a lot because there's a lot of trivia here. This dream sequence, while being righteously funny, also has like one of the greatest little behind-the-scenes jokes. Because Poe has never met his parents, he doesn't know what they sound like. So in his head, they are both voiced by Jack Black.
I didn't know that.
Right, listen to their voices quickly.
Yeah, I just noticed that. It does sound like I'm just voicing his parents.
It's such a great little visual gag. I love it. So
audio gag, I guess.
So yeah, audio gag. I absolutely love that. It's such a clever little detail.
And then Poe getting his ass kicked by a radish. It's weird how I find this funnier than the first one, even though it's, less comedic in general.
This scene also Crane sleeping upright like that. What the fuck? I love this little scene here. It's such a poignant, great scene. Also, that when Poe flips out in a minute, that was my reaction to losing all my Star Fox Adventures footage. This is very Marx Brothers gag, actually. I know it's a weird contrast to make, but it's very Marx Brothers-ish. This. That face he makes is amazing. Yeah. He's such a prick. Your friends are trying to sleep, man.
Yeah, and he wonders how he woke anyone up.
The way she looks in... I need to rephrase that to make it not sound so creepy. The way Tigris looks in the moonlight is amazing. Animation-wise, I'm not a freak.
I like how her eyes always glow in the dark like an actual cat.
One of the things in the art book that says about that is this scene took a lot of time to make from animation-wise because they needed to find the right contrast for her eyes, because imagine it, frame by frame basically, because her eyes are moving all the time, you need to render it frame by frame, so that took hours basically. It's all great though, just for that effect of her eyes glowing like that. This punching Ironwood trees plot is a nice little thing that I'd wish they'd bring up more. I want to hear more about her childhood, and I wish that the source other source materials would go into it a bit more, which is what I'm hoping the Secrets of the Scrolls is going to do.
You think, Tigress? One thing I've always wanted to see is Poe just completely lose his shit. Like, see genuine anger from him.
Hopefully we'll never see that, because I don't want to see my favourite characters in anger, damn it.
Oh, that face Poe makes.
I fucking love that line. That must be quite a shock to you. This is a thing, this is a nice little plot detail, that Poe feels like he can't show weakness in front of them, but not because they're I don't know. It's kind of like, I guess he feels that because they're like these great heroes. They can't be shown they're having weaknesses or that, and he can't feel like he can emotionally connect with them.
And the idea kind of offends Tigress there a bit.
I hate keep saying this, but it's great writing. It really is. It's subtle as well. It's not throwing it in your face. In a way, I'm going to sound weird for saying this, but I actually I like this film best when it's these quiet, intense scenes. I don't like it when it goes away from them, if you know what I mean, because I like the interactions much more than a lot of the action.
I see that.
It's not like I'm saying I hate everything in the film besides that. That'd be ludicrous.
Obviously.
But like, it's just like, I love the little interactions between the characters so much. I kind of feel a bit like, I just want to get to the next one. You know what I mean? The development is just so great.
So this is something I always found weird. Are gorillas in China?
Yes.
Okay, because that always kind of weirded me out. It always seemed like they were like the oddball out, because they're always very accurate with animals than gorillas.
There are South China gorillas, but unfortunately there aren't many left.
No.
Which is just actually one of the things that this film has done right in terms of marketing. It has actually saved a lot of tigers and a lot of pandas. So I want to thank DreamWorks for that.
Oh, really?
They're wonderful. They're wonderful creatures that that shouldn't happen to them. Yeah, a couple of pandas that have been bred in China have been named after Poe.
I know that, yeah.
And I know a lot of people say it's just for marketing. It doesn't matter. A panda gets to live because of that. That's great. I know I'm being morbid, but I'm also going to go back to the light-hearted fact that the Soothsayer has some of the greatest comedy moments. Her and Shen's relationship is hilariously funny and intensely deep at the same time. I love that.
It's probably my favorite character interactions in the film, right along with Poe and Tigress.
If you continue your path, you'll end up at the bottom of the stairs.
Stairs.
Again, this great visual design here. Her horns on her head are huge, and the way she stands very stooped. It's kind of because one, she's old, and two, it's supposed to be a foreshadowing of, okay, not so much a foreshadowing because it's already happened, but like kind of a reference to her role in what will be revealed as Shen's kind of plan, if you know what I mean.
It's kind of like symbolic of a weight on her shoulders or something.
Yeah, exactly. I like the fact that his knives are kind of like blended in with his feathers.
Yeah, that's a very nice detail. Shen's combat style in general is really just cool to look at.
It's apparently based on I want to call it fan combat. The way that it's a very feminine thing. The way that women used to fight with fans in ancient China. Not like Katana from Mortal Kombat fight with fans. I mean, like I don't know, like, weren't so much bladed. It was mostly kind of a self-defense thing. It wasn't supposed to be used for offense, which I find kind of strange that Shen uses it for a malicious purposes.
I saw a video of Gary Oldman recording lines in the studio where he's just doing that line over and over again.
Which one?
Find that panda and bring him to me.
Like loads and loads of times, because he's well known for being a perfectionist.
Yeah, no, it's just cool because he was doing like little hand motions and facial expressions too while he was doing it.
Apparently, he, like Jack Black did, doing most of the lines for this in the first film, he would move as the character would move. He would kind of ask Jennifer Nelson, "Oh, what is he doing in the scene? How is he standing? Who is he talking to?" Because this wasn't done with an ensemble cast, as in recording. It wasn't recorded with all of them together. And once again, it was done apart because of their separate schedules and that. So, I would like to see a little bit more kind of group recordings. I don't know. I feel like you get the most out of the actors that way. If I was doing it, like one of the things like an example of that is in the Batman the animated series when Batman and the Joker would be in a room talking. Kevin Conroy and Mark Hamill would actually be recording together. I love this scene so much.
Poe kind of misses the point just a little bit. I like how the five just leave him like, oh, he's a panda. He can totally do stealth, right?
I love the way he like moves and rolls and that. It's just like it's stealth, but it's such a character like based thing. Nobody else but Poe would move that way.
And once again, there's a joke about breasts in a universe that does not have breasts. Good question, Crane. Or was that man's? I can't actually hear it.
No, I think that was a Crane. Oh my god. Now, in your analysis, you actually pointed out that this dragon costume could be making, well, part of it could be making a kind of a visual cameo in the third film.
In Poe's room, yeah. I mean, I'm not sure that's what it is, but I don't really think what else it could be.
No, I agree. I think it is that. Have you played Metal Gear Solid, Poe? I love the fact he used the tongue to get his attention. That was such a random thing to do.
I didn't even know. Yeah, I just noticed that now. There's so many little details in these films you just noticed, eventually.
I love this as well. Like, you can't just talk in the open like that, which is actually less suspicious than eating her. I mean, like, out of the two things, like talking to her normally or that, what is more noticeable? I love you, Poe, but seriously, come on, man. Use your brain.
Oh, no one else is objecting to it.
Well, that's not quite what's going to happen, Poe, but yeah, okay, you keep thinking that.
Then we get this very Pac-Man-esque moment.
Yeah, I love this. This piece of music actually isn't in the soundtrack, which is a little bit annoying.
Oh, okay. The Pac-Man-esque moment is not coming yet, but... Okay, well, I'm not really a fan of toilet humor. In this one particular instance, I think it works.
I kind of despise toilet humour. I think it's the laziest form of humour. The thing is, like, I understand why they've done it.
Well, it's a very creative use of it, though, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I get that. How did they do that?
They're all ninjas now.
The greatest magician never leaves never tells you their tricks. I love that little line in the background there.
With the wolves?
Yeah, search everywhere. What about over there? Does there include everywhere? Yeah.
Then search there.
Now, we kind of talked about it a little bit, but I would just like to bring it up again for people that didn't watch the first commentary. What do you think of Poe and Tigress as a thing? What do you like? What is your ultimate opinion on that? Do you agree with it? Do you not?
Surprised you bring that up here instead of a certain later scene.
I feel like we should just get it out of the way.
Okay. Well, actually, just because there's plenty to talk about in that scene later.
Yeah, exactly.
Basically what I said is that I like the idea as long as it's done well. And it's not overdone.
Do you think it's hinted at strongly here?
Not strongly, no. Hinted at slightly.
I agree that you could totally make that connotation if you were in that mindset, but to say that it's there exclusively and that's the only interpretation of it, I think is a little bit wrong.
No, that's shippers for you.
That's basically my ultimate opinion about it. I don't. Oh wait, you found the key. I don't hate anyone that thinks it, because that's stupid, and that's just it's a mark of respect for like the characters. I think that people want that.
So this scene went through a lot of different interpretations from what I read.
I can't remember what the art book said, but I would be inclined to agree with you, because, to be honest, I actually think this is one of the weaker scenes in the entire film.
Okay, what I was saying is that it's just the scene where them finding Ox and Croc. There was like a whole thing about them going to like an underground kung fu club. Their mantis was gonna like get head on by a female mantis.
So I thought you meant this particular scene. I didn't realise you meant the build-up. Yeah, that scene was... I would have liked that scene, because it would have, like, kind of... I can see why they cut it out, because it's a little bit awkward.
It's a little bit much.
But, it would have kind of done some good world building and give some vital screen time to the other characters. Because let's be honest, this scene is stupid, and it makes me really not like these characters.
Really cool action sequence, though.
Yeah, it's a great action sequence. It's a really creative use of that door, and that bit where she flips him around is amazing. It's like this kind of thing where, like, the only reason it annoys me is because I guess because it kind of betrays what these characters have said about Ox and Croc beforehand, and it kind of like it makes them out to be kind of like
cowards.
Yeah, and a little bit cynical, and that's not. It kind of doesn't really have a place here. Also, that it makes their kind of development and sequence of the Masters totally pointless.
Well, development comes first, though. Oh, I see what you mean.
Because like if it, like it's like we have to put everyone else before ourselves, but now it's like we're too scared.
Shen's too scary.
Yeah, have you seen him? He's got a British accent, man.
To be fair, it's Gary Oldman.
Yeah, Gary Oldman scares me even when he's not being a character. He's just Gary Oldman. He was fucking Dracula, for God's sake. Also, that character there, that boar character, was actually a nice little reference because he was going to be part of their I couldn't call him Rox then, Ox and Rhino's kind of group, but he was taken out.
And I'm glad they were, because they're kind of superfluous already. They don't need a third member.
The third wheel. I guess the fourth wheel, because okay, one of them's dead. I guess it's a third wheel then. This is a really nice use of some of the the use of modern not modern, ancient Chinese stuff. Rickshaws and that. That's kind of really cool.
So this is how you do a car chase without having cars.
I think this is actually a reference to a Jackie Chan film as well. Actually,
probably
not quite this over the top, but there's definitely a scene in one of his films where he's using a rickshaw for something. Actually, it's the bit at the end. You know when Poe and the Wolf Boss fighting each other on top of one? That's a reference. That's the reference.
I've noticed Poe in general has a very Jackie Chan-esque style of fighting. And then he basically just grabs the nearest object and hits people with it.
And it's very physical. I know that's kind of redundant to say, but let me clarify. What I mean is it's about throwing his whole weight behind it, which is what Jackie Chan in his films does a lot of. And Bruce Lee.
Sadistic children.
It just reminds me of that scene in Indiana Jones, The Temple of Doom. You know when he's on the minecart and he tries to slow it down? I love that. Also, I love the musical, the score here. I think it's called, I'll say Rickshaw Chase.
Yeah, it's just called Rickshaw Chase.
I need to listen to that. I need to brush up on trivia before I do these, man. This moment here is like the most Looney Tunes thing I've ever seen in an animated film, apart from Looney Tunes.
I just love how ridiculously over the top the Wolf Boss is.
Yeah.
Like, even more than Poe, and that's saying something.
I love this so much. Look how fucking fast he goes. See, this is kind of physical comedy that I can get behind. It's not stupid enough to kind of ruin the tone of the film, but it's silly enough that it's enjoyable. Although this joke is a little bit cringy. Like, why there's so many signs.
Well, and the trailer used it to a kind of weird effect. You remember that?
No, I don't remember. I was trying to think of that then.
There's like a thing where the Soothsayer says, "Beware the signs," and then it immediately cuts to post saying, "Why are there so many signs?" One of those deceptive trailer edits, which actually made the joke kind of funnier, to be honest.
I don't think she says it in this film, though, does she? I don't remember her saying that. Again, that's a tactic that a lot of trailers do anyway. They'll cut stuff out from the trailer.
So there's that part where Poe says, "Taste the defeat," and then the Wolf Boss kind of licks his lips as if he's actually tasting defeat.
What the fuck?
That's what it tastes like.
That's a terrible line, but I love it.
What?
Did he say woof, not wolf?
I think you're a little bit ahead of me. You're talking about when you mess with the wolf, you get the fangs.
Yeah, he said. I'm swear to God, he just said woof.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's wolf.
Thank you, David Cross, for that really strange line. I love that. A nice detail there is if you actually look at the cage when Poe puts Mantis in, you can see clearly there that's not really Mantis.
That's a little reference to Tai Lung.
Yeah. It's actually the only reference to Tai Lung in this film, which is a little bit strange.
Aside from a little weird Easter egg later.
Yeah, we'll see if we can find that, because I've never been able to spot that. This is an element to Shen that I really like, that he's actually practicing the speech he's going to use when he meets Poe. That lighting is incredible as well. It's a very simple trick, but like the way the light is going on his right side of his face, it kind of shows that the left side's in darkness, showing that he's kind of half and half. They use it a lot in The Dark Knight for Two-Face, even though it's a little less subtle there.
It is Two-Face.
Yeah.
He's not a very subtle character.
I love this line. They use that a lot in marketing, if I remember that. Whenever Angelina Jolie did an interview, they always used that line because they said it was one of her best comedic moments.
So a detail I just noticed recently is that Thundering Rhino's hammer there has like a little dent in it, which implies that he did hit the cannonball with it. It just wasn't enough.
That's kind of cool. A detail I just noticed, if you look at Viper crawling on the floor there, it's a little bit more pitiful than I remember it being. She actually has to like drag herself. I love this joke coming up. But no, I hadn't actually watched this far before doing this commentary, so I can kind of go in a little bit fresh. And I actually, I'd forgotten how witty this film can be. Like, this kind of joke is just brilliant.
This whole scene between Poe and Shen is brilliant.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey. He hasn't said that yet. Don't worry. I'm not that far ahead. Oh.
And that part where Tyrus just kicks the wolf boss's spear out of his hand.
Yeah.
He has this look on his face like, oh, holy shit. And right there where he just cuts off Shen.
I love that. Yeah.
He prepared that big speech and he just ruins it.
Get your hand out of my mouth, sir.
little goat joke.
What is with this franchise and doing gender identity wrong? Also, I was going to mention this earlier. Shen's kind of what's the style of mustache called? Fu Manchu. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Fu Manchu. It's actually you can't really use that in films anymore because it's seen as racist.
Really? Because they got away with it in 2011, but now you can't use it?
No, you can use it for him because he's kind of it's a little subtle, but because it was used in a lot of exploitation films in the 70s, it's kind of seen as it's kind of looked down upon to use it, if you know what I mean. Mm. It's kind of like that thing of in the 70s, a lot of black exploitation films having afros and stuff. You can't really do it so much now, but you can. But like it's kind of seen as a little bit kind of pandering to that kind of time period, I guess. Yeah, he probably did some other things along though. I love that. It's kind of a little bit disturbing how much pleasure Shen finds in what he did, which I guess is to kind of like, he's so glad he's alive that he's willing to kind of like act like that.
So I heard the scene with Poe and Shen was recorded with them both in the booth together.
Really? I didn't know that.
I thought that was the only one where they're actually together in the booth.
That's kind of cool. Well, it's the kind of scene that kind of demands that they have that kind of chemistry, I guess. Why are we laughing?
Everyone else is like weirded out. Like, what the hell is going on here?
I love the idea that the five have like had these like intense encounters with loads of villains before, but Poe is so kind of oblivious and like non-phased by it. They're like, he must be much braver than we thought. This track is so good. This Poe meets Shen.
He's trying to cuss, but nope, the rating wouldn't allow him.
I love the idea that he's like, what the fuck? And Poe's like, no, the PG rating.
It's that kind of moment right there that shows how ingenious Poe can really be sometimes.
Yeah.
Even if he does come across as an idiot sometimes.
It's that kind of like, it shows his development, but also keeping his character the same. I love that moment when the theme starts. Oh my god, it's so awesome. Also, this scene in a second is maybe my favourite in the film, next to the last like half an hour. But the music track in this next scene is amazing.
The last half an hour, that's a third of the film.
Don't judge me, I love it. Stop showing me that, I'm gonna cry. God damn it.
I heard it was apparently a huge pain in the ass to animate all of his tail feathers.
I can imagine it would be.
First time I saw that, I was like, wait, peacocks can fly?
They can't fly, don't worry.
Well, they can glide, but not really fly.
They can't, no, they have feathers, but the only reason they have feathers is for mating purposes. If you were to throw a peacock from a building, it wouldn't be able to save itself or glide at all.
I could show you a video that would disagree with that.
I've already looked a fool twice.
Okay, well, I guess that's a challenge I'm going to have to fulfill after this.
Depends what your definition of glide is, because I imagine gliding is being able to glide themselves to safety. I don't think they could do it.
I think the video was jumping from a roof and then just kind of like glides softly down to the ground.
This scene is so awesome. More Cannons is my favourite track from the soundtrack currently. It changes a lot, but also this is one of my probably some of the best animation I've ever seen is this tower falling down. They actually had to individually render every kind of like dust particle and everything to get it right. And it's the biggest animated construct in any film.
Shit gets really twisted in this scene.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
It's kind of like I like that because it works as an action scene, as kind of the last remnants of Shen's good personality kind of falling down with the tower, because it's his family's tower, I guess.
In the scene where Tyrus just casually catches an arrow.
Yeah.
I don't even looking at it.
Awesome. I love like Shen's little dialogues when the cannons are going. It's like, bring it down, or like that's so awesome. It's just great line ratings.
There's an arrow right there that just barely misses Poe.
Yeah.
Which I heard they added in later because they just wanted to make it a little more intense.
This is my favourite bit here when the score just gets absolutely intense and adds a quiet.
Yeah.
It's so awesome. So awesome. I think this is the most ambitious scene they've ever attempted in any of the films.
The art book had an entire like section about it. Probably why.
It's so. I can't see them doing something like that in 3 again. I think that's the most they could do, to be honest.
Well, I mean, they're just going to like a little village. They don't really have anything this impressive to destroy.
Yeah.
Except perhaps the Jade Palace.
Goodbye, Jade Palace, in the future. I love how angry Shen is. He's so sick of this shit. Kid smile there. He's so like, just say it, man, or you won't die.
Wolf Boss is adorable. Even if he does murder children.
He doesn't explicitly murder them, it's implied.
He attempts.
My favourite line from the Wolf Boss is that one earlier. It's like, when he's describing Poe, he's like, I hit him. He's surprisingly soft and plushy, almost cuddly. Yeah.
And then later he brings it up again. He's like, I'm gonna hit your soft, cuddly, super plush face.
I love that so much. Hey Tyrus, have you played Metal Gear Solid? Looks like we don't need to stealth away for this one. This is a great scene as well. Now, this scene is one of the biggest shipping moments. I know I'm bringing it up again. Don't worry, I won't bring it up again after this until another scene later on. But
Okay, I won't bring it up again until 20 minutes later.
like when it's going to be so brief, but I'll just talk about it here so we can see it in a second. The bit where Tiger's face there. The bit where Tiger throws Poe in the air is they're standing in like a yin and yang thing. They're like showing their direct opposites of each other. I guess that's one of the arguments, is that opposites attract. Doesn't happen that doesn't happen in life, people.
And though they don't really bring it up, it's kind of implied that the reason Tigers are so sympathetic to him is because of her own backstory.
I love the fact all she did was turn and it was like a little shockwave and dust particles and shit. Again, she's kind of doing what Shifu did in the first one. Whenever he tries to run at them, they just kind of turn him around and like the other way. There you go, this yin and yang. Yeah, you see it. Now go away, shippers.
Like little bouncing sound effects.
A little bit out of place there. And it's something I'd like to note about Poe not telling them. It's not done in a spiteful way, like he's not doing it because he doesn't trust them. He's just doing it because it's his thing to sort out.
Well, that, or like as you mentioned earlier, he doesn't want to show weakness. Yeah,
but that's what I mean. It never feels like it's betraying the character. It feels like he's doing it as part of his character. That he respects them so much, he doesn't want them to think less of him. Crane's wings all mangled there.
Poor Crane. I do find it funny that he happens to get his wing burned right before the scene where they had to escape the tower.
Convenience!
Yeah, so he can't just fly everyone out.
Oh, go away, Ox. You're so annoying. Fucking hell. Sick of that shit.
And this is one of my favorite scenes right here. The last big one between Shen and the Soothsayer.
It kind of like, even though Shen has done something horribly evil less than 10 minutes ago, it's kind of like him accepting what's going to happen. Like, he knows this could all end badly for him. Well, definitely really badly for him. But he's kind of like, I have to do this. I have to live. I have to try.
Come too far to go back now.
Yeah, exactly. Let's see how far down the rabbit hole goes, Mr. Anderson.
Okay, so here's an interesting part to bring up Shen's backstory, because there's a lot more to it originally than what actually came up in the final film. You're aware of that, right?
Yeah.
Basically, that his parents basically neglected him when he was a child. Instead, I thought he was like too sickly to rule, and so they just handed him over to the Soothsayer, became his nanny. And I actually like it better that was not included. Yeah,
because it makes his parents seem not evil, but a little bit it kind of justifies what he's doing a little bit too much. And you need to kind of have it where you need to have a good balance, a literal yin and yang of him. He has a reason for what he's doing, but you don't want to sympathise with him too much because then it justifies it and it makes him less interesting.
Which I heard was a big problem with Tai Lung, which is probably why they made Shen less sympathetic.
Well, that's the thing. I actually think Tai Lung is less sympathetic than Shen because.
Yeah, I don't really get that either, but that happened.
Well, you don't think he's less sympathetic?
No, I do think he's less sympathetic. I don't know why everyone sympathized with him so much.
No, I don't know. He's like just quickly. We'll go on Tai Lung. I just think his motivations just are silly. They're a little bit childish.
Kind of a brat.
It's literally only because he's such a physical threat, that he's kind of a all-right villain, but I guess his motivations just aren't interesting enough. Whereas, like, I feel like they struck that perfect balance with Shen, that he's done some evil things, but for a reason. But the reason he has is strictly a personal one.
Shen is just way more complex as a character.
Yeah. I love that. He's put little smiles on their faces. I love the lighting here. This is actually this is probably one of my favourite scenes as well.
So I've noticed like 50% of our lines start with "I like this" or "I like that."
Deal with it, people. Okay. I hate this scene because it's not long enough.
I thought you were about to say you hate this scene, in which case I would have just had to disconnect this right now.
Yeah, I just say like, I can't do this anymore. It's the end of it's the end of any Kung Fu Panda stuff.
It's just being ridiculously cruel to him right now.
It isn't the eye thing, isn't that built? Yeah, okay, that Lord Shen documentary, I'm just going to refer to it again. They actually, if you want to get really theoretical, they actually build in the whole this kind of subplot a little bit more when you think there are wolves in the dream sequence that look just like the wolves here. Now, I know for a fact that was done for technical reasons. It wasn't done for any reason other than they were going to be used. They didn't want to basically create other models for those characters. But I like the idea that you could make that connection, that he's thinking about it before it actually happens, if you know what I mean.
In universe, it's a very believable connection.
Yeah, exactly, in universe, yeah. This is a great track as well, Fireworks Factory.
I really like Shen's theme in general. Just this whole little bit right here.
Now let's see if we can see Tai Lung's walk thing.
I think that might have been it right there. Or no, it's when he poses on screen, isn't it?
Yeah. If that was it, I've missed it again. I've got to be honest, out of the two, Gorilla or Tigress is way more intimidating.
Yeah, I didn't see it. God damn it.
No, that was it. That was it. Yeah, on his left there. You saw it, yeah?
Yeah, right before he falls in.
That was lucky.
Yeah, physics. That would not work.
I love that. He's like, I said that way too early. Again, that's something I really like about this film. It's kind of, again, like the first film, it's mocking those kind of cliches. Because Poe is like a fanboy of those cliches, but
they don't quite work as he expects them.
Exactly.
And there's a certain scene later which really emphasizes that.
Would you say that's the best joke in the entire series so far?
I would, yes.
That's my favourite joke in this film. The choreography here is great as well. I love the fact that Poe has a clear advantage over Shen, but they don't like make it so Shen isn't dangerous.
Shen's more dangerous as a sort of a mental threat, because he's basically just screwing with Poe's mind this whole time.
He's throwing him off balance.
And it's kind of implied that Poe could beat him in a straight-up fight, but that doesn't really happen between them.
See, that's what I like about Shen. He's being unbelievably cruel here, but he's kind of got like that backstory that we mentioned earlier. I don't know, that I kind of like hate. He's kind of like a villain you love to hate. Is basically the point I'm trying to make.
Even if you sympathize with him, you still do want him to go down hard.
Yeah, and hard he will go down. A lot of people really don't like the fact that Shifu isn't in this plot, but I would just like to add, what would adding Shifu into the plot, what would it add?
Okay, it's time for me to be brutally honest here. Shifu is kind of a superfluous character now.
No, he's only in this film. He's not a superfluous character in the series overall. He has big roles in the winter special. In fact, he has a bigger role there than the other 5 do.
Okay, fine. I'll give him that. Just, I mean, he's not needed for a lot of scenes in general.
I feel like that's fine though, because at the end of the day, he had his development. He had his arc in the first film. That was the arc that he needed for that. And there's no, I love this joke. There's no story for to be told with Shifu here.
He's achieved inner peace. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
I love that. He's there to give the mission, and that's it.
And he can't really go along on the missions because then it looks like he doesn't have faith in his students and he's just leaving the valley unguarded.
I love that, but we should stick to the needle in his head. Now, this scene, I'm going to be honest, when I first watched this, it kind of threw me off guard a little bit how intense it actually is. But, like, it's easily, like... Now, Kung Fu Panda starring Jack Black is not a tearjerker film in any way, shape, or form. Kung Fu Panda 2 starring Jack Black is definitely a tearjerker film.
I also like this model of Poe right here, just with the bandages on his arm.
Looks a bit like Poe Boom.
I know.
Oh god, please don't let that be a thing. Kung Fu Panda Boom.
Oh god, no. So here's something probably should have brought up a while ago.
Tigress is redesigned to look like Knuckles the Echidna.
Oh.
Oh god.
It's like super buff.
Yeah. Okay, sorry, go on.
I was just saying in general what this film does is it uses traditional animation for like flashbacks and memories, then 3D for present day stuff.
That's a nice distinction, and it's something they did in the first film where they used it for flashbacks. Okay, they used it for some flashbacks, not all of them. But I feel like if they should continue that as a technique. Like
you see later too when Poe finally like realizes his memories and stuff, it suddenly shifts to 3D.
Yeah, again, that's a nice little detail, and it kind of makes the scene more intense for me, like having this traditional animation. I can't actually watch this. This is making me really sad. I'll carry on though. That detail there, the rake hitting the wolf boss in the eye, blinding him in his left eye.
It could be a hammer actually, but whatever.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, it is a hammer. It's a bladed hammer. I never noticed that until I watched that documentary, and I gotta say, a weird detail is, like, I don't know. I find it weird that the Incredible Hulk is voicing Poe's dad in that scene, and in the end.
I don't really care for the design of Poe's dad in this film too much. He kind of just looks like Poe, but with a bad underbite.
I'm the beer belly. I'm really glad they changed it. Now, I gotta say, I'll be totally honest about this scene and what it made me feel like absolutely devastated when I watched it, and it really did kind of like, you know, produce that tear-jerking thing that people will want me to do now. I'm not doing it. It is one of those moments that absolutely touched me, and it resonated with me as a person watching it. I won't explain why, because it's not you know, nobody's fucking business basically. But I mean, I feel like this moment. Would you say this moment is definitely a moment that touched you?
I would say, and I'm just noticing that there's like Shen's marks like all over these trees. It could just be like the marks of the trees, but
I never noticed that. I gotta be honest, and you pointed that out to me. Only made the scene better for me. Oh, I hate this bit. Jesus Christ, this isn't.
Yeah, so this is what I was talking about, like Poe fully remembering it, so it shifts into 3D.
Now, what would ruin this scene is if Jack Black voiced his mother here. Oh.
Goodbye, my son.
Jackapooey.
I'll see you later. Okay.
I'm gonna go record.
Get these wolves. Okay.
I'm gonna go record this Tenacious D. Oh God, we're ruining this scene. Now, the implication there is that she's been murdered by them, and if that's the case, God damn it, DreamWorks.
You know, considering we haven't seen her anywhere in like third film concept art or trailers,
it's
pretty safe to say that she's dead.
No, she is dead. DreamWorks, I think, confirmed that.
Oh, did they? Okay.
I think Jennifer Nelson definitely confirmed that she was dead, but I think I read somewhere. I don't quote me on this. They actually did want to show her death, but DreamWorks blatantly went, "No, you can't do that." Which I guess in a way makes it more powerful that they didn't.
Yeah, how it just like fades out, and the only thing you hear is Poe's crying.
Yeah,
that's way more powerful than actually showing it.
God damn, this scene's sad. I love this track here. Is my favourite track in the entire score. Oh God damn it! Can we just get past this? I don't want to like tear up.
There's Tai Lung's third very brief cameo in this film.
God damn it! Fuck's sake! The most embarrassing thing is I know I said I recorded a commentary for the second film ages ago. I actually did like lose it there. And I'm glad nobody's ever going to hear it because it's really embarrassing.
Damn. I mean, good job. Didn't want to hear that.
Badass. Again,
I'm gonna need a hat.
It's using comedy, but it's not betraying the characters. I feel like it has that intense moment, but it's not like it's not ruining that scene by having him kind of go, "I need a hat." It's just kind of adding to it, which I like.
I love how ridiculously over the top they chained up the 5 now. It's
Yeah.
like, we're not taking chances anymore.
Even Mantis is. I think if Mantis was chained up, that'd probably kill him. You'll never chain his warrior spirit. That's a joke I absolutely love. We didn't talk about it at the time.
I think he did, actually. From Crane.
Did we? You know that lovely scene at the opening? We're going to ruin that now. Oh god, imagine seeing that outside your window.
You sit on the floor playing with some dolls, and then suddenly giant fucking warships.
Suddenly Gary Oldman.
Oh god.
I can just imagine Gary Oldman doing this in real life. Not even for a role either, just doing it for his own amusement. Well, you would have if DreamWorks had released the Ultimate exclusive edition with that one scene added in.
Although in that one scene he was like trying his damnedest to avoid her. Unlike in LOA when he tries to hit on a Mantis girl.
Awkward. It's like he's doing it because that's how he wants to go.
Basically saying he doesn't want to die a virgin.
Never thought I would hear that. Oh, this scene is so fucking awesome.
Yes, this.
I just want to... Just a couple of seconds silence while we hear this awesome bit of music. And this amazing joke that comes up after it. Love that line as well. Also, as a point, the reason he's wearing that hat, both in an in-universe reason... Actually, I don't know why he's wearing it.
Don't remember this joke on this.
Okay.
Every time it cracks me up. It's like the one joke to get me every single time.
I love that as well when he goes like, "What?" Like that the second time, like he's like, "Oh, whatever, just let him finish." This joke as well. Oh my god, this cracked me up so badly when I first watched it. I love it.
Physics, it's a thing.
Again, it's doing that, but not betraying the character because he's trying to be awesome and failing. But what I was saying before was I think the reason he's wearing the hat as a behind the scenes thing is to show that he's nearly attained that vision he had of him wearing that and wearing the cape and that. He's almost there, but like, and as an in-universe thing, I guess he just wore it because he thought he was going to cut through the chain with it.
It's funny to think that's the only reason he wanted a hat.
Yeah. And again, this is why you should... Oh, not again, this is the first I'm saying it. This is why canons suck.
As well, just like, god damn it.
I love that he's like, whoa, you can't hit me. You can't see me. This Zen Ball Master, this track is so fucking sweet.
Yeah, this is the one I have, one of the songs I have on my iPod.
I have all of them. You're not a true fan. Crossfire!
Oh god.
I don't know how loud that's going to come across. It's going to deafen some people, me just shouting obscure 90s adverts. Fuck yeah. I love that line so much. I honestly didn't think I would get this far.
It's like Indiana Jones almost. Just makes it all up as it goes along. God, there's so much going on in this scene. You can watch this like 20 times and still see new things.
Well, one of the things in the behind the scenes things I actually learned is they had to render this. The rendering for this scene was intense because they had to kind of fit. They had to program the characters' movements like on a track for like say there's 7 characters in the scene. doing each one of them is a couple of days' work. Now imagine every single wolf they had to do.
Oh, man.
Fuck yeah, Dustin Hoffman.
For his very brief moment of awesome.
He is a moment of awesome. And there's another one as Tigress gracefully lands up on top of that bridge, and Poe demonstrates that he can't do that. Now this is a nice throwback joke from earlier.
Caca!
I was literally just gonna do it with you, but I'm like, I'll let him do it. Caca! I don't do that. This bit, oh my god, this bit's so cool. Let's be quiet. So awesome.
And it's one of those scenes where you're watching it, and it seems like they're really gonna win, and then they don't.
Yeah.
This is the scene that makes me really like the Wolf Boss as a character, too. Like, he's not just comic relief. There's a little bit more to him.
He's definitely dead, though. Anyone who says he isn't, shut up.
Yeah, as we'll see very clearly in a second.
I'm getting ultra salty about people who have, like, theories for this film. I don't mean to be.
Yeah, so that was like 4 knives in his throat. He's dead.
It's just like, I'm so salty about it. It's just like, oh, he's dead. No, he fucking can't be. Shut up, guys. I don't mean to be that salty about it. It's just a film I love, and I'm getting into it too much.
I can understand it with Tai Lung just because his death was really ambiguous. But
yeah.
For Wolf Boss and Shen, no.
And for Poe's mother, obviously. That's definitely canon. Get it? Don't bring it up. It's going to make me sad again. Well, hopefully Ox and Croc die.
So mean to Ox and Croc.
So salty. The third detail there is amazing. That water effect is so good. Now, obviously, because of this scene, they're obviously going to have babies.
So salty.
I love that look between them. It's so awesome. I said it. I'll paraphrase something I said in the original commentary for this. I actually think this is like, to me, this is like Poe's the most heroic thing Poe's ever done. Like, this is like standing up against that by himself when he knows he's probably going to die here.
Yeah, because the way he's acting, he's not like, oh, I'm just going to redirect the cannonballs at the last second.
No. It never feels cheap either. It feels like this is an earned victory, if you know what I mean. Like, a lot of films will just say, oh, he lucked out of it or something. No, it doesn't feel that kind of cheap. Okay, I think we're nearing the end of the film, and I don't really want to talk over the credits like we did before, so we'll just sum up our final thoughts really quickly, because there's a little bit more to talk about before the film ends. So I'll start by saying one of my favourite films ever, my favourite animated film ever, and I think, honestly, I like, objectively, one of the greatest sequels ever. It improved everything from the first film. The comedy, the animation, the characters, it just improved everything, and I think it's a timeless film. It has a good message to it, great comedic moments like this one here, and I actually think I could watch this over and over again and never get bored of it. Also, it's great for commentaries.
I have watched it over and over again and haven't gotten bored of it, so.
If I had to give it a rating, I'd give it a 9 out of 10. It's not a 10 out of 10, it's not perfect. We've mentioned the...
I gave very few films a perfect rating, so.
My 9 out of 10 is purely because of Ox and Croc.
Yeah.
And because of the lack of Poe and Tigress shipping, obviously.
Well, I have to like Ox and Croc on principle, because I wrote an entire fucking fanfiction about them. I feel kind of silly if I had, to suddenly hate them now.
You could hate them because you've done fanfiction about them. You've realised how much they suck as characters when you had to actually write stories about them. This bit's so cool.
For some reason, Shen thinks it's a good idea to just keep firing.
Yeah, that didn't work. Just keep doing it. Guys, come on.
It almost kind of fits with his character, too, because he's just that stubborn.
Say it with me. Once more with feeling. Skadoosh.
Oh, that didn't happen for you,
Didn't
right?
say it with me.
Well, I was waiting until he actually said it. Skadoosh.
It doesn't matter. God damn.
Holy
It's
shit.
a Michael Bay film. I love the fact it instantly turned day again.
Yeah, Poe does that. It's one of his magic powers.
It does actually. Yeah, he did that in the first film as well. I love how like he looks. I love how much thinner Shen looks in the day. It's kind of like a. I guess it's just a natural kind of effect from the lighting, but he looks really like scrawny and kind of pathetic there.
Well, I think the water covering him also helps.
Yeah, I guess.
This is what it's supposed to be, an emotional moment, but Poe keeps ruining it.
No, they don't. Oh, what, scars. Okay, what do scars do then? They fade, I guess. I love that line so goddamn much.
It's trying to be philosophical.
Yeah.
The thought that counts.
Okay, I've said this so many times. This is the last time I'm saying it. My Fist Hunters for Justice is the best bit of the soundtrack. I can't choose. It's a genuine dilemma.
I feel like you've already said like 2 other songs are your favorite track.
Yeah, I said more cannons and Fireworks Factory. Now I'm saying it's... Oh, and Poe Finds the Truth. It's free. I'm now saying it's My Fist Hunters for Justice. It's awesome.
I'll say definitively that it was more cannons for me. Mainly because of that choir bit.
So awesome. And now this is kind of bringing Shen's character kind of full circle, because he's brought upon him his own demise.
You can see in that last little split second there, he kind of accepts it too. He just closes his eyes and bam.
In Gary Oldman's recording session, I could just imagine him looking up going, "Fuck this shit," and I'm out.
And I think when you see the fireworks, you can see one that kind of looks like a peacock coming out of that.
Yeah. It's his spirit ascending.
Yeah. Well, it's gonna be a little bit now.
Oh, this hug is so sweet. Just gave me diabetes.
Poe, what the fuck are you doing? Get off me.
Crane's like, poke it out of there, man. I love the fact she actually dodged Monkey there. That was such a great thing. And I didn't mean to say it in such like a desperate sounding voice. My voice literally like cracked a little bit when I said it.
Like she's really caught off guard, but you know she's still Tigress.
This bit, oh my god, this bit is so good.
Yeah, right there. Well, it's not just peacock; it's very blatantly Shen's head. And that little smile from the Soothsayer.
What, floating in the water? Oh god.
Just a reflection of his dead body lying there.
I ruined that scene totally. That pig's face, god damn it. That'll be people's face if Poe and Togs don't get together in the third film. Seriously.
Okay, even though I support the idea, I don't expect it to happen in the third film.
No, it won't. I'm just joshing.
Even though there's very obvious potential for it to be touched upon. Marriage.
No.
Poor Mei Mei. She's getting so much shit already.
Poor Mr. Ping. Oh, this bit is the bit that got me the worst in the entire film, because it. Also, I love the fact Poe's like, okay, we're done here. I'm going to bring these radishes home. Also, as a poetic, ironic thing.
A poetic thing.
Oh god damn it! The canon joke was bad, but that was probably worse.
The sad thing is, just instantly came to me.
You two can save. This bit is such a sweet moment, seriously. I'm getting sucked into this moment.
Yeah, not much stuff to talk about.
We'll definitely do a commentary for Kung Fu Panda 3, and hopefully Berserker will be joining me for that as well, because I want to continue this. It's pretty fun.
Yeah, I'll absolutely be up for that.
Well, unless either one of us have died from a cannon.
Yeah, that would
And on
put a hitch in that plan.
that downbeat ending and ruining this completely touching moment.
Well, you know, that's what commentaries do.
Yeah. I've just noticed that Mr. Ping. Don't ask me why I noticed this. Mr. Ping has the roundest behind that I've ever seen.
Mr. Ping has a sweet ass. You've heard it here.
Oh my god, my anaconda don't. And that is the end of the Kung Fu Panda 2 commentary. We hope you enjoyed. We both did, hopefully. And
I did. Just to clarify.
That was Kung Fu Panda 2. It was such a great film, such a great commentary, and we'll leave you this amazing bit of sequel shipping, I guess, which we know for sure is definitely happening because at the time people weren't too sure.
And so the 5-year wait began.
Oh god, don't even remind me of that. Fucking hell. I can't imagine how bad it was for people that had to wait 5 years. I only had to wait 2 or 3.
I think I saw it in 2012, so.
And that is the end of the Kung Fu Panda 2 commentary. I've said that 3 times now, but that's the definitive end. We'll see you next time when we do the Kung Fu Panda 3 commentary. Goodbye.
Goodbye. Like, I did that a lot when I was like, oh, I just noticed this, and I thought you were going to bring us some nice little artistic detail. I guarantee you have to be the only person who has ever noticed Ping's sweet ass.